This is the story of a girl who is the starting point of an inventor that saved her from blindness which is caused by love. At a hospital, Window was injured and lost her vision because of the accident. The girl heard a sound like someone was opening the door.
Where am I? Why can't I see anything?
Even though she can't see anything, she can still hear the sound.
Miss Window, are you alright?
Who are you? Why can't I see you? Why?
She aggressively hit on the cold rocket mattress.
Calm down, please. First of all, I am your nurse, and second, you are in the hospital right now.
The nurse clasped her hands and tried to explain. The girl was lying on a patient's bed doubtfully. After her breath became a bit calmer, the nurse kept asking her,
Can't you remember anything?
Just give me a moment. Um. Uh, Ouch! My head hurts so bad.
Flashback 23 hours before Window was at the hospital. She went to her piano class after school ended and finished her practice.
Today is a lovely day again. What should I have for dinner? Let's stop by this shop.
And then she saw something.
Oh, what are they doing? I think something wrong there.
She stopped in front of the shop, next to the convenience store and saw two men were in trouble.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Stop! I said stop!
Then she went toward them and tried to help an injured guy. But somehow she couldn't remember anything after she heard a bottle cracking sound.
Oh, okay. Now I remember what happened.
Yes, you have been injured by a sharp object hitting your eyes, causing a hyphema. So right now you are blind. I'm really sorry for you.
After that, she processed what she had been facing. For your information, hyphema is the collection of red blood cells inside the front of the eye, and it can cause pain, light sensitive, and loss of vision or blindness. Even though the sun was setting and the light from the bedside lamp of the patients was bright enough to see a man in front the door and push it in, Window still saw nothing. She just heard the door squeaking and realized that somebody was entering her room.
Who are you?
I'm AJ. Can't you remember me?
Mm, no, I can't. Sorry.
You saved me from a drunk man. I'm sorry for making you like this.
Oh, that's you? Are you okay?
AJ clenching his fist.
I'm fine, but you still can't see anything. I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
He stared toward the girl with his watering eyes.
Don't blame yourself like that. This is not your fault. Whatever will be, it will be.
Window tried to console the boy who was sitting next to her. AJ was crying so hard, while Window was just smiling.
Window, I promise that I will find a way to help you see Carrie again.
You are so sweet. Thank you, AD. I really appreciate it.
Window did not think and continued smiling toward him.
Due to a lucky incident, the two of them become good friends. Closeness become a good feeling that is well known by another. A boy and a girl who seemed like they were living in a whole different world. Not because of their status, but because of their personality. Rindo Hashimoto was held to be an outstanding student in the school. She was full of confidence and courage. Moreover, she was a genius at playing the piano. She was often chosen as a piano consultant of her school. Rindo's name was well known as much as everyone in the school must have heard about her once. If there is someone who doesn't know Rindo, he may be Ichi. Eiji Ishikawa was an introvert boy. He didn't have many friends and didn't care about anything happening around him at all. The reason why he used to live alone was the death of his dad when he was a child. The other reason was his mom usually had to work abroad. Nevertheless, Eiji was a genius. He always got the first place in most examinations, even if he didn't try to. His core many students want to be his friend for some reason. But Eiji didn't care and ignored them. He kept playing his beloved games instead. At first, Linda had not seen anything. Eiji tried to help her walk and came to visit her every day, until the two of them had good feelings for each other. And finally, they became a couple in the next year. Both of them always spend the time together and support each other.
8 years later, Rindo became one of the greatest blind pianists the world had ever had. She had received many awards and had her own tour around the world. On Eiji's part, he had completed bachelor's and master degrees. But the way to help Rindo was not smooth at all. He felt like he was almost there, but not yet. At the same time, Eiji had a rival who was a brilliant scientist like him. His name is Michael Miller. No one knew that Michael was the drunken man who injured Rindo that day. He wanted revenge on Eiji, who put him in jail for 6 years. After Michael got out of jail, he plans revenge by stealing Eiji's work, then claiming that he did it on his own. So he decided to plan to invade Eiji's research room when Eiji is away. On the way to Michael's revenge, as he walked past Michael, he felt that he was familiar. However, he kept walking. Michael was curious about the thing that Eiji was trying to invent. Then he went into the research room and he was looking for Eiji's work.
Today is the day of revenge. I will steal your work, Eiji.
Michael thought to himself. Suddenly, Michael heard footsteps. The door was pushed by Eiji, who walked in.
Hey, what are you doing?
What am I doing? Do you see what in my hand? Look interesting, doesn't it? You dedicate yourself for 8 years. What a great attempt. But why are you doing this? In case it becomes mine, so I could tell the story about it.
8 years ago, I was hit by a drunken man. We quarreled and a woman came to help, but there was an accident. The man made her blind. I feel sorry for what happened. So, I created this, so that she could see again.
After that, Michael realized that he was the man who made Windows become blind on that day. He started crying and confessed to sin.
I was the one who made her blind on that day. I invented this physical box that you developed.
The physical box is a square box in the middle size, not too big or too small. It can diagnose the preliminary injury of the patient. Moreover, the physical box can help take care of the wooden people.
But at that time, it was just the first version. I tried to create it to treat my wife, who is bedridden patient, and yes, it didn't succeed. I was very sad, so I started drinking to comfort myself, and eventually, I became an alcoholic. It must have caused me to hurt you, Eiji. I'm sorry. I didn't even know the person I bumped into was you. It's really bad. I also made a young girl lose her eyes because she came to help you.
Michael's physical box at that day is still an original one that was invented, so it was not stable and the efficiency of it was not good. To put it simply, the original physical box was not complete yet. It still waits until the day someone will fix it again. Even if Michael, the man who invented it, had lost his inspiration and hope already. Luckily, AG had an idea from the physical box and decided to develop it to help Lindo.
Oh my god! The original of my work is from your work? I saw a nerd use it to examine window. I was fascinated, so I developed it. Though I'm not angry at you, but I want you to work with me instead. How does that sound?
Okay, I will help you.
After a few years of 1,000 attempts, they finally invented the Micronas, which is from micro or small and genus. The Micronas is developed from a physical box. When you put on your temple, it helps to get a vibration from touching. Then the brain could process the image as close as those eyes should be seen. Micronas save blind people world. That day at night, after A.G. can invent the Micronas, he ran to find the girl that he wanted to meet the most. He ran past many people, but he cared for only one of them. He cares only about her. After A.G. met Rindo, who was sitting under the starlight on the bench in her garden, Rindo heard a footstep on the grass ground heading to her.
Is that you, AG?
Yes, it's me.
What's happened? Your sound seems like you need a break.
A.G. ran and knelt in front of Rindo and held her hand.
The Micronet is finally successful. Here, take it. I bought the first one for you. Just put it on your temple.
After that, Rindo took it from Echi's hand and did as Echi said. She began to touch the bench and the blades of grass around her. Then she touched her beloved man, Echi's face, and since Micronius operates by amplifying the vibrations of the staff she comes into contact with, that made her see Echi. Rindo stood still and gasped in shock. Tears began to flow from her beautiful eyes and both of her cheeks, because Rindo had actually lost all hope of being able to see anything. When she returned to see, she turned back to practice playing her piano. And of course, it takes even more effort and determination. But in the end, she was able to practice and try until she succeeded. Rindo can't deny that Eji was always the one who helped and supported her throughout her whole hard time. Eji was crying too when he saw Rindo was delighted because finally he can find a way to make his lover see again like he promised. Even after all this time, Eji had a conscience to Rindo and can't forgive himself for causing Rindo's life to change. At that time, after Rindo left the hospital, Eji often met and visited Rindo and felt her effort to overcome obstacles. This made Eji like Rindo and start to want to see her more often, inventing microness that's finally become the inventions for the person he loves.
The guilt in his heart that has once already disappeared and replaced by love. Egypt can, after this, if he can come up with an inventive technology that will help Rindo back inside. He also wants to take the opportunity to ask this woman, the person he loved, the person he was ready to spend the rest of his life taking care of every day. He wants to marry her because he wants the rest of their life together happily forever.